When I said to my mom that I became supply chain manager, she said, great, but she didn't really understand what I was doing. And she told me, yeah, you work in logistics, right? And I replied, yes and no, not only. So today supply chain is getting super trendy, but I can still find many people that don't really understand what we're doing in my family, but also in finance, HR, marketing, sales. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you my simple definition of the supply chain, the 3 flows we need to master, the 8 questions and problems we need to solve every single day as a professional in supply chain. Then I'm going to share with you one specific example with one of these shirts from the production to the consumer. I'm going to share the structure of my team when I was supply chain manager and director with all the different jobs. And I'm going to share also all the challenges, but also the various opportunities we have for the supply chain professionals and entrepreneurs. So let's get into it. So in supply chain, we have 3 different flows. We have the physical flow, we have the information flow, and we have the financial flow. So the physical flow, to give you more details, are all the movements from the raw material to the consumers. This is the most visible one, and most of the people think it's only that, the supply chain. We could call it logistics, but logistics also have more than a physical flow. We have then the information flow. The information flow are, for me, the brain of the supply chain. I will give you the direction and all the strategy. I like to simplify by these questions: what, where, how much, how many, and when. I'm going to give you a very specific example just after that. And the last one is the financial flow. We could buy products in yuan from China and then convert into dollars, then maybe euros, and maybe Bitcoin. Maybe one day we're going to pay everything with Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin will disappear. We don't know. But this is all the financial flow, the money flow from the raw material to the consumer. And now the real question is, what is the supply chain goal? And I can resume this goal into 8 questions. So this question is, first, we need to have the right products at the right place, at the right time, at the right quantity, at the right quality, at the right price for the consumer to make it accessible, at the right cost for the company to have profits, and also the right impact for the planet to minimize the impact on the planet, but also on all the people working in the supply chain, from the factory to the warehouse to the distribution. So these 8 goals are for me 8 questions. You can see this: what, where, when, how many, how much profit, and what is also the impact for us and for the planet. So now let's take a very specific example with this red shirt for summer. And okay, we want to sell these products, for example, for Walmart or Amazon. The first thing we have to do is, we cannot sell just directly, say, okay, I want to sell it. We need to plan first. We need to have a strategy to make sure we can coordinate all the supply chain. So the first step is to define, okay, first of all, what kind of products do I want to sell? Do I want to sell only red, also maybe yellow, green, black? Where do I want to sell it? Do I want to sell it only in the US, maybe only in New York, maybe only in California? Another question is, okay, but how many quantities do I want to sell for this specific shirt? Do I want to sell 10,000, 1 million, 10 million? It's very important before even buying the products to be very clear of, okay, how many quantities do I want to sell for the full season, but also when do I want to sell? So in this specific graph, we can see we have some seasonality for summer shirts. So I'm using Google Trends to see the volume of research on Google, and that's give you a great idea of the seasonality. And I can see, like, if I only check red shirt, we don't have the same seasonality. We have people buying probably for Halloween and Christmas. If I check, for example, the black shirt, we have a completely different seasonality with some specific events like Black Matters. So we have to be very careful of the quantity, but also when we want to sell it. Okay, great. Now we know which products we want to sell and how many quantities and when we're going to sell it. Then we need to source the raw material. So for the raw material, we have also many questions. What kind of, for example, organic cotton do we need? What kind of type? Where do we want to source? Do we want to source from China, India, Pakistan, maybe in the US directly to have a shorter lead time? What kind of quality do we want? What kind of lead time? Do we want to buy everything 1 year before to have maybe a cheaper price, or to buy like maybe every week or every month? This is the kind of question when you work in procurement and purchase, we need to ask every single day. When you define your sourcing strategy, then we need to produce these t-shirts. So we're going to decide, okay, but where are we going to produce these t-shirts? What cost is going to be? Like we maybe have 2 options. Okay, we're going to produce in China for $1, but we have 6 months lead time and we need to produce at least 100,000 quantities, or I could produce directly in the US with a cost of $3, but I will have only 2 weeks lead time and I could only produce 10,000 units as a minimum order of quantity. So this is this kind of question you need to ask. Another question would be, what would be also the impact to have my production 20,000 kilometers away from my consumers? So this is the kind of question we need to ask when we decide where we're going to produce, but also we have much more question when we go into the factory itself, the quality process, the production process, etc., etc. Okay, great. So now we have a factory. We're ready to ship our products to the distribution center. So we need to transport this product. And once again, we have many questions to ask. Are we going to ship these products by boat, by plane, by train, maybe by truck? And for every way of transport, we have different costs. If it's by boat, I would pay only maybe 20 cents per unit. Per plane, I would pay 10 times more, $2. By train, only $1. But by boat, I have 2 months lead time, by plane 2 days, and by train 1 month. And also don't forget the impact of carbon on the planet, which I think will be more and more important that we will have to really to consider for the next few years. Of course, by boat, we don't have many pollution because it's massive volume. By plane, it's 160 times more, and by train, it's in between. So we need to ask all these questions. Do we want something fast but expensive with high impact on the planet? Or do we have time and we can plan for it to make sure we can reduce the cost and improve the profit for the product? Then the products are moving to the warehouse, to the distribution center. And once again, we have to be very clear of what is the distribution strategy. Where are we going to store the products? Only in one distribution center in the US, for example, or we want to have very, very short lead time, or we want to have one DC in every single city in the US to make sure we can have fast delivery like Amazon Prime now. So once you know where you're going to store the products, you also need to pick, pack and ship these products to maybe a retail store directly to an e-business customer. And in every single warehouse, you have a mini supply chain. You need to define which products, how you're going to store it, where, at which speed you're going to pick, which quality, etc., etc. So you have all these questions that you need to ask inside the warehouse. So now the product is ready to ship. Then we have to deliver the products to maybe one store or maybe to the consumer directly. And to deliver, once again, we have many options. Do we want to use a small truck, a big truck? Do we want to deliver once a week or every day? Or you want to be like Amazon, you want to ship like fast delivery in less than 2 hours? All these decisions have to be optimized to make sure we optimize the profit, but also the satisfaction of our customers. At the end of the chain, we need to sell the products if it's not sold already by e-commerce. And for that, you have also different options. How do you want to sell it? You want to sell it through e-business like Amazon? You want to sell it with distributor like Walmart? You have all these questions also related to the price and the promotion, how much you want to sell it. If you have too much stock, do we have to put 20% discount or maybe 50% discount? We need to optimize the sale, but also the profit to make sure we have enough stock, but not too much. All these questions are part of the supply chain and have to be optimized to improve the profitability of your business. The last step of the process is to return or recycle the products. And this part is going to be growing really fast for the next few years. And once again, how are we going to recycle? Where are we going to do it? What will be the cost? What will be the impact on the planet to do it? All these challenges, you have millions of people in the world working on this every single day. So at the end, to sell a very simple red shirt, you see all the complexity and all the questions and problems we need to solve and optimize. And of course, we also have the financial flow from maybe the factory in China in yuan, dollars, euros, and maybe become, as I was explaining before, flowing all around the supply chain. So to make all these supply chain work together, we need different people and different jobs in supply chain. You have hundreds of millions of people working to make it possible to have the right products at the right place. So just to give you my example, I was supply chain manager and supply chain director for different companies and in different industries and countries. Just to give you one example, so when I was manager and director, I was responsible for the logistics. So I had a logistic manager and I had also a transport manager. And I had someone responsible for import and exportation. Then I had a demand planner manager and S&OP manager. So this person was responsible to lead the demand planner team. And what is a demand planner? Is someone who is responsible to make the forecasts, to have the most accurate forecast, to also improve the inventory management, and to coordinate all all the company and department with the sales and operation planning. I will spend much more time in another video to give you more details about all these jobs. Then I had also a customer service team, so I was responsible for the customer service and I had a customer service manager. I had also someone from finance, specifically in supply chain, and someone in IT was mostly focused for the quality of the data and the master, what we call the master data. And I was also responsible for the procurement and sourcing. It's not always the case. You have some companies, they split supply chain and procurement. In my company, and it was like that. It really depends on the core business of the company. There is no one the best way to do it. And the last one, I had project managers working for me in supply chain. I was also a supply chain project managers for many years for Decathlon. And their jobs is just to optimize, it's to optimize and improve all the process and tools we're using. So you can have internal supply chain project manager, but also consultant that will help you, for example, to implement new tools or ERP. So you have many jobs. I just give you a few of them, but of course you have many jobs in logistics, transport, demand planning, factories, and I'm going to publish another video about these jobs. To conclude, I'd like to finish with the main challenges we have today and also the opportunities for us working in supply chain. For the challenges, we have these 8 questions we have to solve every single day, but I will simplify by just finding the right balance. The right balance between 3 main pillars to have a profitable supply chain and of course a profitable company. The first pillar is the service. We have to improve the service to have products available as fast as possible with as many as possible for the customers. We also need to reduce the inventory and the cash we invest, and most of the cash we invest in the company for supply chain is mostly stock and inventory. And the third one is we need to minimize the cost. We could ship everything by plane, but it would be very expensive, so it will impact the cost and the profit of the company. And the game is always to find a balance. If you are all in on service, you will kill your cash and your cost. And if you are very good, you just want to optimize your cost, you will never deliver the right service to your customer. This is the balance we are fighting and playing every single day, and that's why the supply chain is so exciting. And it's even more exciting if you include 2 more pillars, the impact on the planet and the impact on the people, starting with your team, but also the people working in your factory, in your warehouse, the transport, etc., etc. So this is the chain we want to build and improve to make sure if only one break, the whole supply chain will collapse. So we have to take care of all of this. So we do have challenges, but also have great futures and opportunities for people working in supply chain. I will give you 4. Automation is the first one, and that's for me one of the most important one. We will have massive automation, physical automation first in our warehouse, in our the transport. Every physical flow will have much more support from mechanical and robots. We'll have many examples and many companies investing on that. So many people will lose their jobs, but also we'll have many new jobs, high qualified jobs to make this project happen. We will also have massive automation on how we use the data. So you remember we have 3 flows. We have the physical flow. The data flow is one of the most important, and you have millions of jobs in this industry. Many of these jobs will disappear because we'll be able to automate all of this with machine learning, data science, but also I can tell you Excel. Excel is not there, and you can see that even today, there is no declining on Excel, and you can do a lot of things with Power Query and Power Pivot, for example. I'm going to share more about that in my next video. So a lot of automation for physical and for all the information. Then we'll have a lot of digitalization. That's a cool word as well, but this is really happening, and now you can do many jobs directly from your laptop. We have a lot of software for that. And of course, we'll have more competition. Now you will be in competition with much more people and countries around the world. But if you have the right skills, you will be able to pick the company you love, the products you like, the projects you like, working from home, taking care of your family, or maybe go surfing or going to the beach. The third one is simplification. It's really important to keep it simple. Supply chain today is way too complex, too many processes, too many tools, too many people. And if you are able to keep it simple, I can tell you will have a lot of opportunities. Maybe also to relocate the production closer to consumers, having less products to sell, and maybe having user interface much easier to use than most of the ERP we have today on the market. The last one is more services. We always want more, and it's going to be more. We will have more way to deliver products, more tools, more softwares, more way to produce. This is me with the VR to learn how to pick products in a warehouse. We have also a lot of projects and tools to improve the impact we have on the planet. So my conclusion is the future of the supply chain looks really exciting for me. Yes, we're going to have losers because of automation and machine learning and robots, but we're also going to have a lot of winners, and I want to be part of these winners, and I'm going to help you to be part of these winners. And for that, I founded ABC Supply Chain to bring you from a foundation level to a professional, expert, then leaders if you want to become a director, if you want to become a VP, or maybe a consultant or entrepreneur. And for that, my focus is to improve your skills, your performance. Obviously, if you have a better performance, you will improve your incomes, your energy, because you will be more efficient. Maybe you're going to spend more time with your family. And also, I want to give you the freedom to, okay, if you have the right skills, you can choose the right projects, the right jobs, and do really what you want to do with your life and your career. And for that, because we are always firefighting, we don't have time. My focus is to give you the 20% of the tools and methods that will give you 80% of the results. So if you want my tools and methods, have a look below the video. I have very cool free Excel templates and step-by-step strategies. Please feel free to share this video to your mom, your family, your friends, your colleagues. I think it's really important that we all understand that supply chain is very exciting, cool, and we have so many opportunities. And don't forget to subscribe. I have a lot of videos coming. I just need a push. So give me a like, give me a comment, and I'm coming very soon. Bye-bye.